Looking for a boat that combines adventure and performance? We'll take a look at this Highfield 600 Sport. Welcome back to the Rudder. My name is Brooke and I am here thanks to Northside Marine on the beautiful Broadwater on the Gold Coast in Australia. We're going to take a look at this Highfield 600 Sport. This boat combines the efficiency of an aluminium hull with the luxury of a well-fitted out vessel. So we're going to take you on a performance review and also take a look at everything on board. With an overall length of 6 meters and width of just a little under 2.5 meters, it supports a maximum horsepower of 150 and has the capacity to carry 14 people and 140 litres of fuel, making it ideal for both leisurely cruises and adventurous outings. Constructed with Hypalon means that this vessel is not only UV resistant but highly durable. It also comes in a range of colours, catering to many different styles. Before we jump on board, let's take a look underneath. With the black and cream colour scheme, you've got a black hull, but you've got reverse chimes here. It's really sharp, meaning that this boat cuts through the water really comfortably at any speed. Once the water hits the tubes, it disperses even more, and then any remnants, once you get up to the rub rail, you can see the concave shape, meaning that your passengers stay nice and dry on board. You can also see a keel rub running the whole way along the hull underneath, meaning that when you come ashore, if there's a stone, you're not going to damage the hull. You've also got handles for managing the vessel when popping on the trailer. Looking at the bow now, we've got a droppable cleat, which is great because your passengers can transition from the bow on the step nicely on board. You've got your navigation lights. And obviously with the cleat there, you can tie a rope around it and this can be dropped down for your anchor. You can see that there are grab handles welded in the entire length of this boat, meaning that it's super safe and super comfortable for your guests. Take a look at this bow. This is an optional extra that this 600 Sport has got, and it's so comfortable. It means that your guests can lounge on this sun pad at the front, but these are also removable. So let's take a look. You can lift these seats up here, which means that this adventuring boat turns into a great fishing vessel. Under this cushion, we've got the fuel filler and the fuel tank under there. And then we've got a little bit of storage under this section here for fenders, ropes, or anchors. So we've moved the sun cushions out of the way, and you can see here that there's quite a comfortable seat for your passengers with handles so that they're going to be nice and safe while underway. And the vision for the captain, it won't be obstructed at all. Let's take a look in behind this section here. You've got some additional storage. Now, believe it or not, in a 6 meter boat, rigid inflatable boat, you have a lot of storage on this boat. So let's take a look under here. It's on hydraulics, lifting up, and there's a quite deep section for your passengers to put their bags. Also, easy access to your batteries and in behind the dashboard. The console is set up so that the driving position can be modified depending on the conditions. So obviously this is an adventuring boat, so you're going to hit some big wake if you game, and the seating position has a number of different layouts. So you can see, first of all, I'm quite impressed with these seats. They wrap around, they hug you, and they keep you nice and secure. You've got a well-placed footrest so that this is quite a comfortable driving position. Now, let's take a look at this. You've got a bolster that slips up, and this is an additional driving position. I'm a little short, so I can't speak for anyone who's 6 foot or above, but it's quite comfortable. But to be honest, when I've been driving this boat, I've been a lot more comfortable sitting down with my feet on the footrest. Your passenger or your first mate has exactly the same setup with the bolster seat, and they also get access to the footrail as well. Taking a look at the console now, there's enough space for a 12-inch Garmin screen, which is really necessary given you're going to be adventuring. You need to see the depths of all different waters and also a fish finder if you want to use this as a fishing vessel. You've got the engine monitor and a Fusion Bluetooth stereo with 4 speakers so that you can really enjoy the day out on the water with some tunes. Across the console, you've got the wireless charging and the cup holders. You've got a grab rail for the first mate, some storage for your phones. That's a great storage spot. It's secure, it clicks in, your phones aren't going anywhere. You've also got your stainless steel press buttons here and yeah, just a typical throttle. I mentioned earlier how there's a lot of storage on board. You've got a little swim basket here and then you've got storage options above head here for things like sun cream and those sorts of things. One more storage point just underneath the seats here. You've got quite a deep area for you to put a bag and you've got an extra belt to keep it in place. What I do like about this boat is that you're on a rigid inflatable hull, but you can stay out of the elements. We've got a Perspex screen which protects you from the elements like the rain and the wind. When you're going quite fast, you're in this little alcove and you're nice and protected. Nice solid roof. Now this is really important because obviously this is an adventuring boat, so you don't want this to move around. You want it to stay nice and solid, and it also keeps you out of the rain and the sun if you're out on a long day. When you do hit that large wake or the waves out in the open ocean, you do have plenty of grab points so that you do feel quite secure. All right, so that's the helm. You've got, as I mentioned earlier, you've got your 4 speakers above. We've got LED lighting all the way around, which is a little bit difficult to see in this light, but it's blue illuminated down below and up above. So if you're out fishing late at night, there's no problems with seeing what you're doing. Let's move towards the stern now, and you can really see that there are grab points everywhere for your passengers. I mentioned earlier, there's handles welded on the whole way down the boat, and we can move back to this back section here. And again, nice and safe for your passengers. This bench seat is large enough for 3 adults and quite comfortable if you are hitting those big seas. Grab rails absolutely everywhere. You've got cup holders everywhere for your guests, and take a look at this. A nice little table for you to have your snacks whilst on the water for the day. Moving that out of the way, they've continued the theme with the beautiful embossed seats throughout, which gives it that little extra touch and puts it in a class above other rigid inflatables of this size. We've also got additional storage underneath, really large, and I think this would be a great space for your dry bags and also your life jackets. The transit area is thoughtfully designed with 2 things in mind: adventuring and water sports. A solid roll rail, VHF antennas, nav light, and a mount point for water skiing. The deck tread is inserted the entire way around so your passengers don't slip off when they're going in and out of the boat, having a swim and those sorts of things. You've got a telescopic ladder so that your guests can also transit nicely and safely on board. With, once again, lots of grab points to ensure that it's a nice, safe day. You've got cleats in place to tie off and a freshwater shower, which is really handy to wash off the salt after you've had a great day on the water. A thoughtfully placed handles so that when you're coming up out of the water with the telescopic ladder, you can do so safely. That's a quick look on board of everything on this Highfield 600 Sport. One more thing to do. Let's see how she performs. So we're on the water, we're cruising along at 6 knots. Quite effortless, quite a comfortable, stable ride. We are at 1700 RPMs and a touch under 6 litres an hour. The Perspex shield in front of you means that both the captain and the passenger remain out of the wind, which is quite nice. If you were to be seated on the back bench, it would be a little bit windy when underway. These seats make it very easy to navigate and also make it quite comfortable while you're underway. Okay, so we're just gonna bring it up to a slow plane now. Straight up on the plane, we are at 12 knots and we're at 3,000 RPMs, 13 litres an hour. Fuel, just got a few boats coming up, so we might just pop past them and add. So we're cruising at 16 knots, go through a bit of wake here. See how those chines perform. And yeah, as you can see, the water dispersed beautifully, not one drop in the boat. Okay, so we'll make a bit of a turn here. We've got a nice little spot to see how it goes if we were to come up on the plane a little bit more. All right, so let's take it up. So we're at 15 knots. 15 knots are 3,000 RPMs and the fuel flow is 16 litres an hour. So we're at 20 knots effortlessly, and you can see here that the water disperses beautifully once it hits the tubes. Okay, so we'll make a turn here. Sharp turn into the corner. And see how it cuts through the wake beautifully. And we're already at 25 knots, so we're at 4,000 RPMs and where fuel flow is 25 litres an hour. Very stable, very comfortable ride. Quite heavy on the steering, but yeah, and back we go. There's no boats, follow me. So we're at 30 knots now and we are at 5,200 RPM and 52 litres an hour. We're now going to turn in and head with the tide, and let's see what she's got. We're at 35 knots. 5,000 RPM and just a touch under 50 litres an hour of fuel. And there we are at 38 knots, 5,300 RPM and 50 litres an hour. Very stable, very secure and very comfortable. Highfield 600 Sport is perfect for those who dare to explore. Great boat for adventuring, fishing, or just a day out on the water with your family. Thanks so much to Northside Marine for allowing us access on board this boat. If you've got any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments box below. Happy boating, and we'll see you next time on the Rudder.